Hello and welcome to the Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast. You are joined by your usual hosts, Josh Hartley, Ben Porter and Charlotte Porter. How are we all doing, guys?
We're good. Yeah. Well, I'm speaking on our behalf.
Presuming to speak on my
Sorry,
behalf.
Ben.
Are you not good, Ben?
Oh no, I'm good. Yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. I think you mentioned on a previous episode we're in the process of selling our house. It has its challenges, but
Well, you found somewhere, haven't you?
Potentially
Yes.
there's a new lily pad.
potentially, yeah.
So, we'll keep you guys posted as much as you want to hear about that. Yeah.
I think maybe that's a good selling point for this flat. We could say, get the estate agent to write it in it that it's actually, or we'll get like one of the plaques for the outside.
The Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast was founded here in 2017?
2017.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's mad. How the time flies.
I know.
But we might be Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast, but we are doing what I've been threatening to do for a while now. We're having a whole off-topic episode. Not content with like the majority of our episodes usually not being about gaming. We're now just like embracing the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we've got a topic to talk about though, so it's not complete chaos, and we'll get to that in a moment. However, on a gaming related note, next weekend we are going to be in Aircon. Woo!
Whoop whoop.
Apart from Charlotte.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Aircon's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
It's a more intimate convention,
Yes.
but not in a weird way.
Yeah.
Have you been to a convention that was intimate in a weird way?
I just wanted to clarify that. That was all.
But I'm really looking forward to it as well because I missed it last year.
Yeah.
My nephew was like being born, so I was required to look after dogs while people were running up and down the country.
Yeah.
So,
Mark, if you're listening, feel free to use that as a slogan for Aircon. Aircon, intimate, but not in a weird way.
yeah, I can see it on the poster right now.
He's quite fond of like making up lots of different T-shirts. I think that would be quite good on a T-shirt.
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
Good shout. But yes, we are going to be there. So if you see any of us in our Unlucky Frog Gaming T-shirts,
myself and Josh will be there, and accompanying us will be lovely Iona and Lanky Santa.
Is Lanky Santa not lovely?
He is.
In his own special way.
The only requirement I have is that you do not allow Iona to go anywhere near Betty's without me.
Yeah, I don't think...
Hold on. What if I want to go to Betty's?
No, nobody's allowed to go to Betty's.
No.
Why are we not allowed to go to Betty's?
'Cause I've not been yet. I went and there was a massive queue.
I'm not going to a tea room. I'm going to the Churrascaria.
Alright, well, I'll go there as well. Yeah. We can do both Churrascaria and afternoon tea. Ben, have you ever been to afternoon tea? I can assure you.
Do I look like the kind of person?
I can assure you it is quite delightful.
Yeah, well...
Anyway, so that's where we're going to be there. So we hope to see plenty of you there as well. And we'll catch up.
We will be doing a live episode.
I know. We are apparently being given a game to review. We still haven't been told what game it's going to be. So
we wanted to keep it quite...
seat of our pants.
Some would say unprofessional, half-cooked, unprepared. We say organic.
Improvised.
Yes,
so off the cuff.
The idea is that we're going to play a game that we've never played before on the weekend, and then attempt to review it live.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to, because it's Mark who's picking the game as well, right?
Mark Cook, one of the Aircon bosses, will be picking the game.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully he's not in a bad mood with us. And have I done this joke before on the podcast? He's like, hopefully he's not in a bad mood with us and gives us like an absolute stinker of a game to review, like Zombies or Monopoly. Like,
if he makes me play Zombies, I won't be his friend anymore.
You heard that? You hear that, Mark? Ben doesn't make these kind of threats idly.
No.
So
I really hate that game.
well, I mean, we all know the story.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, you wanted to talk about something before.
I wanted to share with the group. So I think we've done this a couple of times of late, where like we share like
a weird dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously we had my fever dream.
Yeah, where you hoard yourself out.
We don't need to go into the details.
To old ladies.
It's there on the internet.
Yeah, it is. It is.
We'll add the link to it.
Yes.
Yeah, link in the description below.
Yeah.
So I had a dream the other night that for some reason I had befriended Elton John and his husband.
Right. Okay.
So I was.
What's Elton John's husband called?
David Furnish.
There we go.
Well, I just know him as David.
Yeah. Your first name terms with him and Elton.
Yeah. So me and David were just in his living room,
mm-hmm.
and he was showing me all of these plays that he likes. The transcripts.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're talking about like Hamlet, stuff like that. It was, it was good fun. Elton hadn't come home yet. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that they call him Reggie or whatever his real name. I don't think he calls him Elton at home, but yeah.
I don't know.
His real name's Reginald.
I think so. Yeah,
Did you know
it's something like that. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know when him and David met. Like, in the context of it, so you could call him Elton, because apparently, like most people call Marilyn Manson Marilyn or Manson. They don't call him Brian Warner.
Yeah.
Like, apart from his family.
Yeah.
They usually call him Manson.
Well, anyway, he wasn't there at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's me and David were just chatting away, being all pretentious and intellectual.
Yes.
And then Elton John comes in.
Right.
But like he wasn't wearing his wig.
Okay.
And he had one of those like big baggy wolf t-shirts on. Like,
oh my god!
Like he was just wearing like he's lazing about the house.
Well, yeah. I mean, why not?
But like in a weird way, like I felt kind of flattered that he was
that comfortable in your presence.
Yeah, like he was cutting about without the wig on. And
now I thought
he wasn't Elton John. He was Reggie.
Yeah. No, but he was Reggie. To me, he was Reggie.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but like I thought that's not a wig that he wears. I thought it was a hair transplant. He's had the full-on perma wig.
I think that's a Highland jig.
Let us know, guys, in the comments. Is it a wig? Is it a transplant?
It's time to play wig or transplant.
I was so sure it was like an actual transplant.
You got me doubting myself. Anyway, in
the dream.
It was
it was a wig.
It was a wig.
I'm loving this idea of like a quiet domestic life with you, and like are you like next door neighbours in this scenario, or
like there wasn't anything weird. It was just like
thanks for clarifying.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you have to sort of say that now. Like it was completely platonic.
Yeah, you were friends with Elton John. It was intimate. But not in a weird way.
Exactly. There we go. It's all nicely dovetailed together.
Right. It's a good dream. It's an interesting dream. It's not as weird as mine.
No, yours was like straight up weird. Mine's was just like, why are you hanging around with Elton John in like a Native American?
Yeah, like the wolf t-shirt.
Yeah. Why does Elton John own one of those t-shirts?
I know, right? You'd think he wouldn't be caught dead in them.
Yeah.
But I don't like it's. What do you think triggered it? What was going on in your day-to-day life? Do you think made you have a dream about being pals with Elton John and his husband Dave?
Steered you say this. Well, to be honest, I actually quite like Elton John's music.
No, I no arguments here. Like, cracking songwriter and performer.
We've been listening to Elton John because we were talking about the Robert Downey Jr. video.
Oh,
yeah, that might.
There we go.
Yeah. I'm quite fond of the Road to El Dorado soundtrack.
You're very fond of that.
That's very good. So, yeah, I listen to Elton John.
No, he's a great musician.
I think that Elton John is better than the Beatles.
Okay, whoa.
Fight me.
I'm not going to go that far, but
I've said it.
You are wrong.
I put it out there.
You are wrong.
Well, you're wrong.
Children.
Right.
Children.
Shall we, on that note, get on to our main topic?
Yes.
Our main off-topic is... We've been feeling a bit nostalgic recently.
Yeah.
And it's got us thinking about that childhood. And one of the, I think, certainly of the people of our generation, the key touchstones of childhood was getting back... And, I'm going to sound like old man Hartley now for a second, right? But if there are any children listening or younger people listening, back in our day, we didn't have dedicated channels to kids' TV. It was a predetermined slot. You had your afternoon after school, from 3 o'clock till 5, and then you had your Saturday mornings. And that was it, right?
Yep.
And there was the school mornings as well, from the 6:30 till 8 o'clock.
No, I never got up early enough for that. I must admit, I didn't have time to watch TV when I was getting up. It was more the mad panic. But yes, you're right. There was in the mornings as well before school. So we were talking about our favourite TV shows, and what we're going to talk about is each of us have ranked, well, not ranked, listed. Mm-hmm. These are in no particular order. Our 5 favourite kids cartoons and / animated shows.
Yes.
There are a couple of rules for how we've composed these. One,
because we wouldn't be board gamers if we didn't.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So first of all, it has to be a cartoon or TV show explicitly for children. Yeah. We are not family-aimed ones, or certainly not adult ones.
No Simpsons, Futurama, that kind of
South Park is a no. Even though, for me anyway, I did watch South Park when I was too young to watch it.
I can remember watching South Park when I was 9.
Yeah. Did you get...
My parents definitely...
No, they would not be happy with that.
They're not happy with you watching it now.
Yeah.
That's by the way.
Fight me, Mum.
Yeah.
But please don't.
Rule number 2. It has to be a cartoon or an animated show. So your Demon Headmasters, your Queen's Noses, your Tracy Beakers, they can all get out of here. Right? This is
all classics.
No puppets either. No puppets.
Zippy.
Zippy, get out.
Sooty.
No one wants you. Right? No one likes you. You've got no fans.
Well, like Sooty.
Sooty is classic, but he's not a cartoon. Apparently, he is now a cartoon.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a CGI cartoon.
We were watching Sooty.
I just think it's wrong on so many levels.
They did it with Noddy and Fireman Sam and all that. They made them all.
I suppose it's because it's much cheaper to produce. Right.
And they've also cheapened themselves.
Yes. Well, this actually kind of touches on our third rule, actually, because the third rule is because I was just about to say that's not to say that there isn't still great kids TV show being made nowadays, but the third rule is we had to watch them as children.
Yes.
The one that both Ben and I independently said was SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic TV show. But I'd be lying if I said I ever watched it as a child.
I still watch it now.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I love it. Yeah.
But so we're not putting that on for the purpose. I think
Squidward is the most relatable character in that show.
I don't know. I personally find SpongeBob quite endearing.
Yeah,
I think we could all be a bit more like SpongeBob. The world would be a better place.
Yeah,
or chaotic.
Or maybe both.
And we all know someone like Mr. Krabs.
Yes. Yes.
I'm thinking Hugh.
Yep. That's who I was thinking as well. Hugh, shots fired if you're listening. He wouldn't argue.
No.
So shall we just dive right into it? So how about, Ben, should we start with you? And how about Charlotte and I try and throw some guesses as to what we think will be on there?
Pokemon.
That was going to be my guess as well.
Is there...
Yes!
I kind of dithered about putting this one up.
Really?
Yeah, because it gets exponentially better as the series goes on. Right, so it's one of these shows that's been quite sanitised over the years, because like Misty used to like leather the crap out of Psyduck when he was up to all his shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's all quite warm and fuzzy and lovey-dovey.
Yeah.
Do you want more violence? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what it was all about.
I mean, it is a game about pitting
animals against other animals.
Pokemon against Pokemon locked in mortal combat.
PETA love Pokemon, let me tell you.
Oh, I bet.
They love it.
Bet.
So, I loved it as a kid. I feel like it's one of those shows that you can see in the older ones, particularly like the first couple seasons. A lot of it was hand drawn. Mm-hmm. They had like that sort of hand painted like watercolor backgrounds, like where you could actually see like the paint flecks on it and stuff like that. And then, I mean, it's the way that a lot of animated shows go. That like even though it's what you call a cartoon, which is like traditionally. It was like frames, like, you know, thousands of frames,
cells,
hand drawn, and then just like all shot together. Most cartoons for a long time have all been done on computer. Yeah, like even South Park, which was originally done on it was like stop animation with construction paper. That's all done by computer.
Well, do you know, like trivia about South Park? It's only the pilot where they did that with stop animation. Ever since episode 2. It's been computer generated.
Allegedly, it took them ages.
It would have. Yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's
like,
a really cool style.
To be fair, you wouldn't know necessarily. No. Certainly the earlier stuff.
But you see it with Pokemon. I think it's as though it went from being like this really cool kid friendly anime to being quite soulless and commercialised. Like to the point where it basically is just a high budget version of like like He-Man and stuff like that. The Saturday morning cartoons that were just adverts for a toy.
But I mean, having said that, what are you going to be doing after we finish recording tonight?
Well, I'm going to be playing probably ranked battles on Pokemon.
Well, I was going to say that was the big criticism of Pokemon, was that this is just an advert. But like it's actually weird. Like kids' TV shows for a very long time, a lot of them have been adverts for something. Yeah. As you point out, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
But I feel like the original series of Pokemon was a little bit more than that. There was there's some quite interesting little story arcs. The characters were more interesting. Mm-hmm. There was more cartoon violence, and a lot of that's gone now.
And of course, that then they had to cut parts of it for moving it over here, because wasn't there a bit that caused some epileptic kids in Japan?
There was the episode that caused the epilepsy, and there was like there's an episode where James has like massive boobs because he's dressed up as a woman.
It's so weird.
So
Japan!
There's a couple of things that they've cut out that the Japanese censorship board was like, we don't have a problem with that, and the West were like, no. So, but the whole thing is quite interesting. Like, you can almost track when Pokemon transitions to being something that was tailored pretty much for Japanese audiences to being an international franchise, because that is all gone. The weird Japanese humour and all that. Brock with his jelly donuts.
Yeah, what was with that?
That were very clearly rice balls.
Yeah.
As if he couldn't have just gone, these rice balls are delicious, because everyone would have known.
Yeah.
Like, no, Westerners won't know what a rice ball is. Let's say it's a donut.
On an interesting subject, I'm looking at my list. I don't have any Japanese cartoons on here, and I do. Like, it's not because I don't like anime, but like generally, I didn't watch it as a child.
Yeah.
I got 2.
All right. Oh, well, what's the second?
The second one
Digimon.
is Digimon. Yeah.
Oh right. Ah,
Yeah.
I remember Digimon being on. Didn't watch an awful lot of it.
I didn't watch it until I got together with Ben, and I watched the crap out of it, and I really liked it.
So some people have told me, right, that the cartoon of Digimon is actually better than Pokemon.
I
Absolutely.
really like Digimon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is it's one of these things where obviously they did the Digimon cartoon off the back of the popularity of Pokemon,
Yeah.
but it was Toei Animation that did it. So it was like an established, it's one of the oldest Japanese animation studios. I think they were founded like the 1950s or something.
Yeah.
Long time. Like it's a national treasure, I guess you could say. But Digimon's got character development in it for one, which is something that's absent from Pokemon.
It's absent from a lot of kids' TV shows, if I'm being honest.
And you've got kids dealing with real world problems. Like Matt and TK are their parents are getting divorced. And that spills over into the story. You've got one of the kids, Izzy, he's adopted and he's just found out. He's dealing with all of that.
Okay.
You've got another kid, Joe, who's quite typical, I think, of like a lot of like Japanese schoolboys who show quite sort of academic promise, where he's under tremendous pressure, even though he's just a child.
Yeah.
So like you had them all dealing with these quite hard hitting themes, but it's within that very like Japanese context of kids with their sort of
monsters,
sort of yokai animal companion type creatures.
So what is the premise of Digimon?
The premise of Digimon is that there's this essentially like parallel universe that exists alongside ours called the digital world, and these Digimon inhabit it.
Right.
And some of the Digimon are actually like viruses. You get like data Digimon, and you've got vaccine Digimon, which are the ones that are so. You've got again that sort of video game element of it, where you've got different types matching up against one another, but where it differs from Pokemon is the Digimon of the protagonist children draw their power from the bond they have with their partner.
Okay.
Right, so in the original series, they all had crests. So like Ty's crest was the crest of courage, and what happened was his Digimon Greymon could not evolve into Metal Greymon until Ty let his courage come to the fore.
Right.
So they've all got a different attribute or strength like
it's
that.
all very heartwarming.
Yeah, it's heartwarming, but not in like the sappy way that Pokemon's become.
No, it's quite it's more story driven.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on.
Yeah, it's like you say, there's a lot more depth. It's a lot more thought out, and I think actually it really, although you could say it with Pokemon, I think really Digimon for me was like my first step into becoming a weeb, basically.
Well, the other thing I suppose with Digimon as well is actually the main characters are children from our reality, so people can associate with them because they're literally going to whereas the kids in Pokemon live in this alternative universe.
What they did part way through the first two series, which were called Digimon Adventure, Digimon Adventure 1 and Digimon Adventure 2, part way through they actually come into the real world out of the digital world. So you get this quite interesting story beat where it's like they've had this escapism, and then they're confronting reality again, and then you get the digital world sort of bleeding into the real world, so you get this sort of apocalyptic vibe to it as well. But for me, it really was what started my interest in like Japanese anime, and then by extension Japanese cinema, because I became a big fan of Kurosawa when I discovered all
Seven Samurai,
all of his films, Seven Samurai, Yojimbo, Ikiru, stuff like that. So I it's one of those ones where I loved it as a kid, and it's, I think, been very impactful on me as an adult as well, looking back.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. This got a lot more highbrow than I thought it would.
Yeah.
But we've got 3 left, Ben.
3 left. So, also on my list, I've got Dexter's Lab.
Oh, right. So, yeah, I used to watch Dexter's Lab Dexter's Lab isn't on my list. In fact, I don't have any Cartoon Network on my list at all. I did watch a lot of it, but...
We never had Sky Television, which was where you got Cartoon Network traditionally in the UK, and that was where Dexter's Lab and all those other shows, like the sort of Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Yeah. Well, am I right in saying, did Hanna-Barbera become Cartoon Network? Was it owned by them?
I think they were bought because they were the big 1970s one. They did Wacky Races, they did Captain Caveman, they did Scooby-Doo, they did all those. Yeah,
they did Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, I think Samurai Jack as well.
Oh, Cartoon Network. Okay.
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera.
No, Hanna-Barbera.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's Hanna-Barbera.
Oh.
So this is it. Like, aren't them and Cartoon Network one and the same? I genuinely have no idea.
They might be, but I don't know. I don't know about that. But we never had Sky in our own home. Mm-hmm. But I would always, whenever I went to my Aunt Sandra's house, would watch it there. The reason that we never had Sky is because of the trees across from my parents' house.
Oh, wow.
Allegedly, the satellite that bounced out the signal for it was based above the equator in Africa.
Right.
And the trajectory at which the signal came up, it was blocked by the trees.
So this sounds like an elaborate story that your mum's came up with as to why not to get Sky.
There is not a single person that has Sky on that street.
Oh, seriously? Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I think there must be some merit to it. It seems quite sort of like 1950s, but no, allegedly that is a factor in it. So we all, whenever we went to my Aunt Sandra's house, we would binge watch these Cartoon Network shows. Mm-hmm. Dexter's Lab was a firm favourite of mine.
Yeah. What was it about Dexter's Lab that over and above? Is this the only Cartoon Network one on yours?
No.
Okay, but what was it then about Dexter's Lab that you particularly liked?
I really liked the animation style. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's that sort of new era Hanna-Barbera where it is recognisable as Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
But they've almost gone for like simpler, more stripped down shapes. But
it's almost minimalist.
Yeah. But really bold colours.
Yeah.
I like that.
Which is that's very Hanna-Barbera. Like if you look at all their cartoons, it's all very bold colours. Yeah. But it's like you say, it's more minimalist.
Yeah.
Than the sort of 70s Hanna-Barbera stuff. Also, it's just really, really funny.
Yeah, true.
and even like, because I watched some of it again recently with Nathaniel.
Yes.
And because I just thought I'll put something nice and colourful on from, and it holds up really well. It's still funny even now. There's a lot of things you watch that you liked as a child. Mm-hmm. You go back, this is awful.
Yeah, I'll maybe talk about some of those on my list, but yeah. So what was the other Cartoon Network one?
The other one was Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I never watched it. Watched it.
This is one of the interesting things. It's because you guys are both a couple years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
There is that little gap where it doesn't make so much of a difference to like the trends and things from high school.
Yeah.
But there was things that I liked that like you guys would have been teenagers and I would have still been a kid because of those 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's maybe why you guys missed the bus on Courage.
So what is the premise of Courage then?
So Courage is a dog who lives in the middle of nowhere,
Right.
with his 2 owners. They're like 2 old curmudgeons,
Okay.
and these horrifying scenarios befall him.
Wow. Okay.
Like
That
there's
sounds really dark.
there's one where he gets trapped in the gerbils world, and
Okay.
it's basically like a small world, but it's like this nightmare gerbil hell version of it.
Wow.
There's one where there's this guy who's selling Fantasy Flan.
Fantasy Flan.
Yeah, what he does, he hypnotizes everyone to buy his flan.
Right.
So he has this really sort of
Smooth voice.
smooth, and he's like, buy Fantasy Flan, and he sends out this transmission to everyone, and everyone's obsessed with this flan, and there's zombies for this flan. And what Courage does in the end is he turns his own transmission on him, and he turns him into this like slobbering monster who's like obsessed with his own flan. It's strange.
Wow. That is so strange.
Yeah, and so it was that way where you were terrified watching it, but you had that morbid curiosity. Like, I have to know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I
scared.
must know.
I'm scared out of my mind, but I want to know what happens.
I must know.
Yeah, and he was just called Courage because he would.
Was it a funny show?
I mean, kind of, because he would like scream uncontrollably at this stuff, and you'd sort of laugh at him screaming at it, but secretly you're like, I would be doing exactly what he's doing right now.
Weird. So we've got one more.
Last one is Batman the Animated Series.
I knew this would be on yours, and it's on mine as well.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how bloody amazing this show is.
I can remember watching this as young as 5.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was obsessed with it. I had videos of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the story arcs that really sticks to my mind was the Clayface one.
Oh, because he was the actor, wasn't he?
He's an actor who becomes obsessed with like preserving his youth and his looks, and he starts using this like face cream that essentially turns him into this mutant. And there's the sort of he's quite a tragic villain, Clayface.
Yeah. It's the animation is phenomenal. Again, quite stylized, a bit more realistic.
Heard a brilliant description of the animation style.
Yeah.
Dark Deco.
It's do you know what Art Deco was going to be the thing I was going to bring up? But yeah,
Dark Deco.
Yeah, which is perfect for when was Batman created? It was like the 30s, wasn't it?
I think it was like the 30s or 40s.
So,
yeah,
perfect to tie in with that as well. And the voice acting is incredible in it.
because it's Mark Hamill's Joker.
And I had no idea at the time it was Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Either. Just a fantastic show. Really stands the test of time as well. I think that show could be the reason why Batman's probably my favourite superhero out of the whole superhero canon.
Yeah.
Well, it was what I grew up with, and I remember I collected a lot of the action figures from the Batman animated, and it was specifically the Batman animated series, and he had all these like ridiculous like utility suits and things. I had one.
This suit that is only good in one specific scenario.
I had one called Decoy Batman,
Right.
and so what you did was he had like a red and black suit on, which looked awesome.
Yeah.
But there was like a chest plate with the Batman cowl on it, and you could unclip it, and then like Bruce Wayne's head popped up.
Nice.
It's a sort of rudimentary
Yeah.
you would push the Bruce Wayne head back on and clip the Batman thing back on.
Cool.
And the cape was fabric.
Yeah, but I had one with the fabric cape as well, which was weird, actually. But
Loved that figure.
Yeah.
I can remember like taking it with me to school when I was 6 to show it off.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned Clayface. Favourite villain?
I think Clayface.
Right.
I mean, everyone likes the Joker.
Yeah,
but I think for me, that there's a scene in the animated series where he's fighting Clayface and they're in the studio and Clayface is like trashing the place because he can like shapeshift.
Yes.
But he can also like turn his arm into different weapons. So he would turn it into like a spike to try and spear him, or he would hammer him. But the way that he defeats him is he traps him in the editing room.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens is slowly, like, all of his pictures and TV shows come up on the screens, and his face changes from one of anger to like one of sort of sadness.
Yeah.
And when he looks at one screen, he turns into that character.
Yeah.
And he looks at another, he turns into that one, and then he starts like turning uncontrollably, and he starts screaming, and that's how he defeats him.
Freaky stuff.
It's absolutely burned into my mind, that scene.
For me, right, specifically from the cartoon, this isn't just like Batman in general, specifically from the cartoon, Killer Croc was excellent in the cartoon. Genuinely quite scary.
Yeah.
But I also love Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
And because he would have been in the comics first, but his first like quote unquote live action outing would have been on the Batman animated series.
He is one of the more obscure Batman villains. I mean, not so much now with
it's not since Batman Begins.
But for me, Clayface is just a phenomenon. I like a tragic villain.
Yeah.
I think he is a
lot of the villains from Batman are quite tragic though. Like Two-Face, he has a big downfall. So
yeah,
but yeah, an amazing show, and it still stands the test of time.
Absolutely.
So guys, that's part one. This has turned into a two-parter. So next week we're going to come back and we're going to cover off Charlotte's and my list, sans Batman. Unless you really want us to talk more about Batman.
I'm happy to talk more about Batman.
New rule, it's all about Batman. So, look, thank you very much for listening to the first part of this episode, though. So, until next time, take care. Bye. Bye.